Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's Chef Jason Morse. We're hanging out in my kitchen today because, you know, when we cook in the backyard, we always have fun things like lawnmowers, dogs, airplanes, turkeys, wild chickens, all that craziness. Tonight, it is thunderstorm. So we're in the kitchen tonight cooking for today's edition of Family Night with Beef. We are excited. Ann, what do you think smells better in the house? Cooking, like barbecue or meatballs?
Meatballs.
Meatballs. So let's give you a sneak peek. Look what we got going in here. We've got those bad boys set and ready to go. That is like meatball deliciousness there. So, hey, be sure to give us a shout out. Let us know you're here so we can say hi. And be sure to leave your comments and questions below, and we'll get those answered for you. And as you know, we will answer them well into the week as well. And then, hey, don't hesitate to share this video when we're done with your friends. Let them get in on all the beef action. And don't hoard meatballs, right? That's not nice. Get the meatballs for your friends. And let's get everybody cooking and having a blast. So again, as always, big, huge thank you to the Colorado Beef Council for having us. And thank you so much to our farmers and ranchers who are out there working hard in the rain, in all of this to make sure that we always have that beautiful beef protein in our fridges, in our freezers, on our tables, and more. We've got, what do we have? Oh, hey, don't forget, today's recipe, if you go to cobeef.com, cobeef.com. That's Colorado Beef Council's website. There's a tab up there called Cooking. You can click on that tab. You can grab all of our recipes. We've got some great tip sheets. Last week, we talked about steak swapping, so there were some steak swap tip sheets as well, but you can grab this recipe today, and then we've got a double feature today because not only are we doing this recipe, but we're going to show you a little trickery today because we're going to make one, don't tell the kids, we're going to make a recipe today with zucchini. That's right. I almost said squash, which it is. With zucchini, we're going to show you a fun way to sneak a little veggies in on them. So if they're watching, just turn the volume down. They'll never know. I promise not to tell anyone. So let us get started here.
Let's say hi to Michael while we're
Hey, Michael. How are you today? Good to see you, Michael.
And
all right.
Colin is here.
And
Hello,
Colin. Good to see you, Colin, everyone. All right. So I think we're ready to get started. Hey, come on in. Let me show you a couple things we did ahead of time. I cooked my pasta ahead of time, right? While the meatballs were cooking, I wanted to have the pasta ready so that really when we're done tonight, super fast too, because we're talking 27-minute cook time on the meatballs, which is pretty awesome. So then what I did, closer, come in closer. I put the red sauce, our tomato sauce that we're going to have tonight, in here, so that when I reheat the tomato sauce, it's going to come up through my strainer and warm up my pasta a little bit. Ooh. Hey, and Scott from Kansas City Beef Council Kansas Beef Council is joining us as well. Hi, Scott. Good to see you. All right. So, you ready to do this, Ann?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I am.
All right. The house smells fantastic. The dogs are drooling. Actually, they're dropping their tennis ball down, I think trying to trip me so that they can get after the meatball. So, let's walk through this guy. I will get gloved up. We did a little bit of prep tonight. Now, this recipe is really cool. Calls for a pound of ground beef, and we're using 93.7, which is a little bit lean, right? But we're adding an egg into it to kind of help as a binder. So we're substituting a little bit of the fat in the ground beef for a little bit of that fat in the egg. This is it right here, you guys. This is a moment you've been waiting for. 2 ways you can scoop meatballs. With this scooper or with this scooper. Actually, you can do it by hand if you want. But the beauty of these scoops, which you can get at grocery stores, you can get them online. The great thing about this is now when we're done, I can go in there, scoop meatballs, and they come out totally perfect and ready for the oven. So I've got 3 pounds of beef here. I'm going to divide this guy up because, like I said, we've got a little trickery up our sleeves tonight. And like I always say, don't forget to leave your questions and comments down below. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you would like to see. Definitely tell us what you would like to see in our Friday Night with Beef videos, because this is all about you, making sure you are getting to cook what you want. So here's what I like to do. I like to push the beef kind of down and around a little bit, almost make a bowl. It helps me season it just a little bit better. Soft breadcrumbs. What they mean by soft breadcrumbs is some finely ground breadcrumbs like that. This is an Italian version. You can buy them plain. I feel like when you use the Panko breadcrumbs, they're a little bit bigger, a little bit firmer, and they make this bind up. So this is a half a cup of breadcrumbs. Do we need to say hi to anyone?
We need to say hello to Annie.
Annie.
Great name. And Amanda.
And Amanda, nice to see you. Annie was not on. Is that Annie Patton?
I don't know.
She was not on last week.
Oh.
We missed her, and I'm not sure where she was.
Well, welcome back.
But yeah, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. 1 large egg, some finely chopped onions, right?
Oh,
Sorry. There you go.
Got it.
Like that, right? A little bit of garlic.
Oh, show that off.
This is our squeeze tube garlic. We love squeeze tube garlic
Easy
because
peasy.
if you're a hand sleeper like I am and you kind of fall asleep like this at night, having garlic on your hands, no bueno. All right, a little bit of ground pepper, as much or as little as you like. And I'm going to go a little bit bigger grind on this guy.
Hi, Laura.
Laura.
Thanks for joining.
Oh, Laura Hagan, how are you? Nice to see you, Laura. Laura is rocking it. I keep seeing all of her videos. I think it's Nashville is where she's at now, but she keeps posting some amazing looking food online. So,
Yes, she's in Nashville.
all right, you guys, look at this. That's pretty simple, right? Not a lot of ingredients. That's what I love about these meatballs. You don't need to be crazy on this. You can add cheese if you want, but something so awesome about simple. So, all right, let's ready. Watch this. You ready? So, I'm going to take that, break that egg up, and now I'm just going to go through here, and I'm kind of doing a squish and twist.
And that's the great thing about the gloves. I know from firsthand, then the cold meat does not make your hands too cold
Right.
when you got the gloves on.
You don't get meatballs stuck in your nails, so later on you're not having to clean meatball mix out. But I'm just doing kind of a squeeze
And
and twist, right? That is a patented meatball move. We call it the squeeze and twist. But I'm just trying to get everything mixed in here. So as you mix it in, one of the things you're going to notice as well is the density of that meatball really gets firm because those breadcrumbs are doing exactly what we want them to do and they're acting like a binder. So I like to make sure that is firm, right?
And
Wanna
how
make sure
much breadcrumbs measurement-wise
that
for
was
a
a
pound of meat?
half cup? Yeah, half cup of the soft breadcrumbs. And like we said, the soft ones are the ones that are ground. But look at, isn't that cool? Like, it's a
That's
giant
a big meatball.
I know, right?
How long would it take to cook that by itself?
This would take a while. It would take a little while. Okay, now, here's the fun of meatball time. Annie, watch the meatballs. I'm going to grab the pan that I forgot to grab. All right.
All right, I'll
Any
watch
questions flowing in?
Not yet.
You're in charge for a minute.
All right. Get a close-up on the meatball.
All right. Here's our pan. The awesome thing about these meatball mixes, we're all about time saving, right? You could double this recipe, half for tonight, put the other half in a pan, little plastic on there, cover it, put it in the freezer. Now you've got meatballs. So really the joy of that multitasking and the cooking once, eat twice kind of thing. You have meatballs for today, you have meatballs down the road, and that works out absolutely perfect. So we're gonna take this mix now, and here's what I like to do, you guys. I'll hold the mix just kind of on my fingers. I'll take a scoop. I'll run it across my hand like so. And, wait, look at that, I'll show you right there. Boom. Meatball
Perfection.
madness, right? And this should make about 12, depending on how firm you pack the disher
Oh, Ollie is assuming his position
of trying
in the
to
corner. This is where he is most helpful,
mooching food. Yeah.
standing in the corner waiting for something to drop.
So, and again, you know what? Not only is this a super easy recipe, these things cook fast. And I'll show you a fun little trick we did on the cookie sheet pan as well, because we made kind of a little foil, I don't know if raft is the right word, but we made a foil containment system to help make sure we get all of the fat collected and nothing goes in the thing. Look at that. What did I say? 12 meatballs? Perfect. Now, so look at this. This is so awesome. And I just love this about meatballs. If I were to double this, guess what? 12 meatballs for tonight totally feeds a family of 4, depending on how hardy of eaters you are. But now I can throw that in the fridge, in the freezer, and I am covered with meatballs for my next trip. Okay, here comes a little trickery, you guys. Check this out.
Have you turned the sauce on yet?
Oh, I have not.
Should
Thank
we?
you. Yes, yes, yes. Can you?
I can.
All right, so look at this. While we're getting ready to do the last bit here, Annie's going to turn the pasta sauce on, and I'm going to throw the pasta back on here. And now that steam is going to come up and warm the pasta. I don't like to mix my pasta in the red sauce because it gets a little bit overcooked, and I'm kind of funky, picky when it comes to my pasta. I
Hi,
like it
Andy, and
being-
hi, Bev.
Cool. I like it, Andy.
Rao.
Andy Rao. Very nice. Okay, so look at this. Here is our next round of meatballs. So
Okay, we have a question before you move on.
Yes, I love questions.
How long will the meatballs last in the freezer?
my guess is, and it all depends on how cold you keep your freezer and how often you open it. The warmer it is in temperature and the more you open it, the more it's going to defrost. I would say best case scenario, maybe 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, keeping them frozen, but maintain kind of visual on them and check and make sure that they're not getting a bunch of icicles and ice formation on there. All right, come on in, check this out. So I'm gonna have to re-glove, but that's all right. So here's what we're gonna do. We have a box grater, right? And we're gonna shred some of our zucchini. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Hey,
yeah,
where are you at with that camera?
Working
Where
the
you at?
pasta. I'm right on you.
Okay.
Ooh. You
So-
can make bikini.
Bikini
bread.
You will not fit in a bikini after my zucchini bread. Just an FYI. All right. Set that guy to the side. Now, listen, one of the things I do because, as your kids get older, they're a little crafty. I will go through here and just give these guys a rough chop
Look at those knife skills.
because I want to break them up a little more.
Hi,
Or
Christy. Hi, Todd.
you want
Hi,
to be
Julie.
fasty. Hey, everyone is here.
Gang's all here.
The gang is all here. All right. So, yeah, I like to just get these guys a little bit finer. I'll turn that sauce down. It's bubbling a little bit. All right. Get those guys a little bit finer. Let me wash off my knife.
We'll show some pasta scenes going on here.
We're just reheating that pasta. And there you go. So it's already heating. I like to let a little bit of that steam warm up my pasta. So you get it all set. And let me grab a quick towel here. Any other questions coming in?
No questions.
They're
yet?
quiet. It's another week of quiet.
Well, it's rainy.
Yeah, that's all right. We like the free water. So, okay. So we've got our second round of meatballs, and this is kind of we'll call these our enhanced meatballs. And if you go to cobeef.com, Colorado Beef website, there is a tab called Cooking. In that tab, Tammy's going to have all the recipes loaded for you. So you'll be able to download this recipe tonight for the regular classic meatballs, we call them. You'll also be able to email or download the recipe for the meatballs with veggies. Question?
What other kind of veggies could you hide in the meatballs
That is-
without detection?
I knew someone would ask. Well,
I know spinach because I've done it myself.
spinach is awesome. You could puree it, add some spinach in there. Sweet potatoes. Gives them a nice little bit of sweetness. Your kids love them. Once it hits the red sauce, no one will know. So hold on. We're going to add a little salt and pepper in here, Ann. Okay, a little bit of salt and pepper. And then we're going to plop in our zucchini, huh? And the same thing again. What's our move? Squish and twist. Squish and twist. Yeah, so you could puree carrots. You could puree sweet potatoes, yams. You could do regular potatoes, too. You want to puree some russet and get some russet in there, but zucchini works great. Yellow squash is fine, but you need to remove the seed pulp in the middle. Take your peeler, flip that thing over, and scrape out the middle seeds in there. That works out good, too. But here's what you are thinking. I didn't add any breadcrumbs to bind this or any eggs or anything. I'm using a little bit leaner beef. I'm using that 93.7, so that should come out just perfect. If they don't have the texture you like, hey, modify the other recipe and use that as well. But same process here. Now, look at this. Come here. Check this out. So you think, like, my kids are going to know, right? And you think, man, my kids are definitely going to find out. But all this stuff is going to brown up nicely, so your kids are going to be like, what is that? Cheese. That's cheese. It browned up nicely in the oven.
You could put cheese in your meatballs.
You could put cheese in there, but isn't that cool? And again, spinach puree in here is nice. Just don't add so much spinach that it changes the color of it, because then they're onto you, and once your kids are onto you, you'll never be able to pull the wool over their eyes.
So can we talk a little bit about the difference between panko or just regular breadcrumbs?
Yeah, so the regular breadcrumbs are ground a little bit finer, and I think they provide texturally something a little bit different. That meatball comes out a little bit different. It almost has a smoother texture, whereas panko is a bigger breadcrumb, and they call them the Japanese-style breadcrumb. Panko is a bigger breadcrumb, and it almost makes it spongy or a little bit rougher in texture. So I think you get a smooth meatball with the finer ground or the soft breadcrumbs. And there's times that people will take bread and mix a little milk in it to make kind of a panada and put that into their meatballs as well. But
do you ever put pasta sauce or ketchup in your meatballs like you would meatloaf?
Yeah, you could. Ketchup would be, I don't know about, maybe not ketchup. Pasta sauce might be good to give it that Italian flair. Definitely, I've done barbecue sauce in there. You could do mozzarella, you could do Parmesan, quite a bit of stuff. Yes, ma'am.
So just confirming that if you're adding the vegetables, you don't necessarily need the breadcrumbs.
Yeah, so that's kind of a different...
Oh, there's Oliver.
That's kind of a different recipe. So I didn't add breadcrumbs. It's a leaner ground beef. It's 93.7. So we're gonna have a much better, a lot less fat. I mean, you can see in here, you guys.
So good.
There's not a lot of pan drippings, right? And look what we did with the foil. We made kind of a containment system. So what I did was I get the extra wide foil, right? And I laid it out flat on here, and then I basically just took my corner and folded it almost like in a little crease, and then pinched it to kind of make a well. And now I don't have to worry about anything overflowing the cookie sheet pan. So let me grab a plate here real quick because I want to show you how we are going to garnish this up. And we need some Parmesan too. Zoom in on those meatballs and show them how absolutely delicious they are. And you can see those cool little pieces in there, the little white parts. Those are the onions. And the beauty is we used a nice sweet yellow onion, and we got it just caramelized really, really good, so it came out nice. And where is I'm in the fridge here looking for my Parmesan.
Smells good in here, but keep in mind these are hot, so you may not want to eat them right away, especially if you've got little kids. So aside from Italian recipes, what other uses are there for meatballs?
You can do barbecue meatballs. That's a great appetizer. Barbecue meatballs are fantastic. You can do grilled meatballs. You could do wrapped meatballs.
You could do meatball kebabs.
You could do meatball kebabs. All that kind of stuff. Hey, where's the Parmesan cheese?
I'm not sure.
How did we lose a whole bag of Parmesan cheese?
It's in there.
All right. So let's talk about plating here, you guys. Here's what I like to do now. So I'm going to grab some of this pasta that's warm. And I have gloves on, so I'm just trying to protect my hands a little bit from it. But I like to grab a little bit of pasta. I like to lay my pasta down. I kind of almost make a little nest or a little well of the pasta. We'll set this over here to the side. And now I'll grab, well, let's say 3 meatballs, because I'm feeding my family of 4. So everybody gets 3 meatballs. Grab one of our wooden spoons here.
And what kind of sauce is this? Did you make it yourself? Or?
I didn't. This is just a jarred sauce. And you can, this is marinara. I like marinara because it's a little bit sweeter. The tomatoes tend to be ground a little bit finer. And then right over the top like so. And we're going to cut into one of these because I want you guys to see how tasty these guys are. But just like that. And then, you know, I might throw a little tiny bit of salt on the top. Some Parmesan if you could find it in your refrigerator. I apologize. My refrigerator is one huge mess.
Could you put a cube of cheese in the middle of them and bake it, or would it not come out right? Would it affect the cooking? Yeah,
cubes of cheese are a little bit weird. And I almost feel like if I put shredded mozzarella or shredded cheddar, I would get a better melt, and it would taste better and texturally would be better. I feel like when I put a chunk inside, that chunk almost explodes and melts out. So I literally feel like half of that is gone onto the cookie sheet before I get a chance to enjoy it.
Do I get a half of that?
Look at that. Yeah, you get a half. Nice and well done. But look at this. This is so cool. Like you can see there's some beautiful moisture in there. It's perfectly cooked. They're not dry. So anybody that thinks, oh, 93.7, that's too lean, that's too lean. Yeah, maybe for certain applications it is. But because we added some fat and we cooked this a little bit slower, this worked out so perfect for us. Let me give this guy a little sample here. A little red sauce topper. What do you think?
Really good. And if you have fussy little kids who aren't quite into spaghetti sauce yet, these are great over garlic butter noodles.
That's what you had.
I did.
Trying to finish eating my meatball. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Right? Mm-hmm. So, you guys, quick and easy. I mean, you're really talking, we're at what? We're at 20 minutes so far. Cook time on the meatballs was about 27 minutes, so it doesn't take long at all. Now, let's say you made too many meatballs and you're thinking, how do I cool these down tonight? Do it the same way. Let them cool here on the stove for just a minute or two, maybe 5. Take them out, put them in a pan or a container, put them in the fridge, uncovered, let them get cool 100%, cover them up, and go. Anytime you're cooling meatballs that have already been cooked, you should eat those in 1 to 2 days. That's the maximum shelf life on those guys.
Talk about cooling your food on the counter before you put them in the fridge and why that's important.
Well, look at this. I mean, if you look at that, see the steam coming off here? So let's go over to the fridge. And I know it's messy. But if I all of a sudden put that in my fridge, look at all the steam coming off there, right? So all of a sudden, that steam has to work its way through your refrigerator. It has to work through the condenser. It has to work through the compressor, has to work a little bit harder. So I like to bench cool it or countertop cool it for a little bit just to take, you know, these guys are 160 degrees. I want to take 100 degrees of them off. I want them to cool as much as I can, because then when I put them in the fridge, I'm not going from 160 to 40. I'm literally going from maybe 100 to 40, which, excuse me, is fantastic. And I want to make sure to say hi to Jana from Tennessee Beef Council. Good to have you guys. We have Kansas, Tennessee, and Colorado Beef Council. So we have 3 of 50 councils. Guys, we got to work on that. We need all 50 councils here. So reheating these guys. If you want to reheat these meatballs, what I'll do, let's say that these are my cooked ones. I can easily reheat them in the microwave, lightly covered so they don't explode, because that cleaning up your microwave. Reheat these guys until they're warm, or better yet, heat up some marinara, take your meatballs out and reheat them back in marinara, and they will come out absolutely fantastic. Or barbecue sauce if you prefer.
So if you're heating the meatballs in the microwave with some kind of sauce on them, should you wait to sauce it later, or should you sauce them before you put them in the microwave?
Totally your preference. I would, if you're going to heat them with sauce in the microwave, that moisture will be really good. You'll want some of that moisture in there because it'll create steam, and steam will heat those meatballs up a little bit faster. And you can never have too much sauce. So put a little sauce in there, put some sauce on the side, and then get those guys covered and set and ready to go. That's it. Hey, you guys, don't forget today, you can grab all of our recipes. We've got these guys set for you right here. You can go to cobeef.com. That's cobeef.com. We've got a tab called Cooking. Click on the Cooking tab. You can download this recipe. Tammy's got everything there, so you can go back to week 1. This is week 8, so we've been hanging out with you guys for 2 months, which is so awesome. You can go back and get all of our recipes, tip sheets, and more. We have steak swap from last week, a lot of cool stuff. Next week, oh, I'm so excited. We're going back to the cook once, eat twice principle. And the great thing is we're going to have some leftover steak. We're going to make some amazing lettuce cups, and I'm super excited for that. I love lettuce cups. And, you know, as it's getting a little bit hotter in the summer, we wanted something a little easier. So we're going to show you how to cook once, eat twice, which is fantastic. I'm Chef Jason Morris. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Huge thank you again to Colorado Beef Council. We really appreciate the opportunity to cook. And thank you to you guys for tuning in. We love cooking with you. We hope you enjoy cooking with us as well. Then, last but not least, all of our farmers and ranchers, thank you all so very much. I'm ecstatic to see every time we have a beef locator map, right? On cobeef.com, you can get a beef locator map, and it will tell you where to buy local beef. And I follow a lot of our ranchers on Facebook, and it's so awesome to see what they're doing, and I just love everything about that. So thank you guys so much for working hard to keep that beautiful beef protein in my fridge, in my freezer, in my belly. We appreciate that as well. So thank you guys. We will see you next week. Please, like we always say, take care of yourselves, take care of each other.